scheduling for profits. Now, this right here is one of the most important things that as you start scaling that you really need to start concentrating on, because let me pull this over here from another screen. Because if this is what your schedule looks like, your technicians, like it's really busy, right? It doesn't have any really holes in it. But are you making any money? That's the question that is super hard when you're dealing with having a business. And when you get to from here to start building a business like this, we have all these trucks, and we couldn't even fit all our trucks in. This is my service company. Couldn't even fit all the trucks in. And so scheduling for profits is super important when you start getting into 4, 5, 6 trucks, because the time that they're being out in the field matters. Every minute is $1 or $100 or $50 or $1,000, whatever. So what I wanted to show you is literally you have to track it. And if you're not tracking the production that's happened from your sales, then how do you know if you're making any money? And so here's the question. So let me ask you right now. Do you know how much you brought in last week? Do you know how much you're bringing in this week? And do you know what you have next for the week after? Now I'm talking about production. Do you know how much was sold and is on this week, next week, and the week after, or whatever you have scheduled in the future? You probably don't. So this is why it's important for you to watch this video, because your schedule might look like I just showed you, totally full. All your guys are full, but yet the bank account's not going up. And so, I mean, there's a lot more to this but this is the start of really getting to know your numbers. And this is how you manage it. So if you're dealing with a bookkeeper or an accountant that tells you a month, 2 months, 3 months later if you made any money, what a crappy way to run a business. You need to know, am I making this money this week? Am I making money today? So I got the whiteboard up. Let me show you the numbers you need to know. Number one number is you need to know what your bills are. What are your bills this week? Question mark. So how do you do that? You literally go to the bank account and you take the monthly income, the monthly bills you had last month, and you literally divide it by 4. That's paying you, that's paying the marketing, that's paying payroll, that's paying for suppliers. Now, it's not perfect. Now, by the way, this is something for your own way to know if you're making money, because this, obviously, if you have a huge job one week, it's going to be a little bit less bills than the next week, or more bills than last week and stuff. This is the system to start getting to know what your bills are, and to get to know what your production is, and to get to know what your sales is. So figure out what your bills are for the week, and you take the month and divide it by 4. There's your bills. And we'll say that was that's last month, or a month comparable to what you're going to do for this month in sales. Like if your April is nothing like your December, you're not going to use April as your December's month to base off the bills. If you're a pretty steady business, you can just use last month's. If you know what your bills were last year and this month, even greater, take that up and try to figure out where your bills are. But you should have a pretty good beat on what your bills are. And if you don't, this is how you do it. And you can adjust this. So once you get that number, let's just say I'm going to make easy numbers. You're doing $25,000 a week, and what your bills are. You did $100,000 a month last month. Well, that's $25K, obviously, for the bills each week. Now, that might fluctuate. If you know there's more bills coming up, well, goal that out. Okay, so number 2, add up production. So what I'm saying here is if you scheduled it and it's on the books, add it up every week. I mean, every day. This is daily. Add it up. Sorry. There should be an easier way to do a whiteboard than your mouse. Daily. I have a roller mouse. So anyway, daily. if not twice a day. But you need to know what's on the week. Did something fall off? Did something get added? What's on next week? So to make it simple, does this be bigger than this? That's what we need. We need this to be bigger because that's profit, right? Now, that is all your bills, but you need to make sure. So essentially, if we're saying 25K was your bills, you want to, I would goal, because now we're going to teach you goals too, is 25K, right, is your bills. Well, you want to be able to do, 35K in production for the week, right? I mean, that's what you want to do for a 10K profit. But now, what does this make it? Predictable. You now know what your production and bills are, and you know how to get to this, how to get to 10K. Okay? So another thing to do here, and this is the other number I want you to know, is what are sales as they come in. So this is, we go, I'm saying weekly, but you got to take the daily sales and add them up to have a running tally for the week. And so when you take your weekly sales as they're coming in, and so like on Monday you have 0, right? By the end of, and maybe you do this at the end of Monday. So when you start on the end of Monday going into Tuesday, so this is Sunday night. So now Monday goes, this is Monday, and now all of a sudden you did 1,800. Okay, that's all your guys did 1,800. Okay, and then we go to Tuesday. Okay, and then Tuesday they do 3,000. Okay, so 3,000 plus 1,800 means that they actually have now 4,800 up, right? And what I was trying to get at when we were doing our production numbers and trying to figure out what our bills are, when you start looking at having more reports from before, you now can start goaling. So we want to get 35, right? So right now, we're at 4,800 and we're trying to get to 35. Well, we better step up our game, right? And then Wednesday comes, and let's just say you have a 10K week or day. So now we're at 14.8. I know, this is terrible. 14, this is my first time using the whiteboard. I might get a different mouse to do this. So anyway, and you keep going, and at the end of the week, we'll just you got, let's just say you got 26K. Well, we know that that's profit, and now we've scheduled for that. Now, here's the thing. One of the things that people don't do when something off their schedule falls off, how to replace it. You must replace it as fast as you can, right? To be equal value, if not greater value, than what you had before. Sorry. So this is how you start doing this and that. So I'm going to go over this again real quick. So we got to know your bills. Bills for the week. We're going to add production. And then we're going to add up sales. And then so when you take these, you take production minus bills, P minus B equals profits. That's the simplest way to compute it. But you want to keep track of your sales, because now what you want you to do is you take every week for next month or the whole year, you look at last year and you start putting goals on, knowing what your bills are. So you do this as you keep going. You start predicting what your bills are for the whole month. You start predicting from educated facts that you have from the numbers that you had before. If you can't do it from before, start doing this now, and then next year, next month, even next week, you can start predicting it if you start using this profit system, scheduling for profits. This is how you start growing a company. You need to know the numbers. These are the 3 numbers you got to start with. This is the easiest thing to do, and don't overcomplicate this. What people do is I'll try to help people with this, and it's like, well, I can't get my bills. Well, just go to the bank account, go to your statement last month, see what you paid out, and divide it by 4. It's that simple. Now, I know weeks are going to change and they're going to go up and down because the bills are a little different. You adjust for that. I mean, use your head. That's all you have to do. And then all you have to do is add up your production and add up your sales as they come in. And I mean, to do that, I would keep a spreadsheet for this and just do a running tally. At first, this is going to seem like it's a hard task to do, but I promise you, it'll take you 5 minutes a day. That's all this will take you to do once you start this. And then you're going to have to spend maybe 30 minutes to an hour every year planning out the whole year. And when you do that, now, bam, let me see if I can show you a report that I have. This is what we call the start of the nut report. And I have a nut report here. Let's see here when this one was from. Let's see here. Let's get up to. All right. Bring this down. So our nut report is massive, right? Okay, so this is it right here. And so these are all the stuff. Well, here we go. I can plan what my sales are, what my expenses are, and what my profit is. Okay, and I do that by, I track my sales, which this is actually labeled wrong in here. This is actually production. Our sales are up here for the week and the month and all that stuff. So but when you come down here and you start doing all this stuff, I then right here, as I start adding up, this is how much I want to do. This is how much profit I want to do. Here's our actual and here's our profit. You see? So we really start making money in our business come there. But see how this works? I start predicting it. And when you can start predicting your sales, you start predicting your money, right? That's the whole point. This is number 1 to knowing your numbers. And when you got this down, you'll start making money. And by the way, you can delegate this. Oh, super important. I'm glad I didn't get off this video yet. You can delegate this task. It's easy for your call center or the person answering the phones to add up sales and to add up production as it's happening every day, and then give it to you. Put it on your CM on your schedule of what your sales and production is. They put that on there every day, like it's a 7:00 a.m. report. They go in there and put it in there for a reminder or something, and put it on your CM that way. That way, every day you see what you guys are starting with, and you can also do it where you see next week and the week after and all that kind of stuff. And so we do. I don't have it on here. I'll have to show you in another video how we do a dashboard that shows the next 3 weeks how much production we have up. Obviously, sales is only each day as the day happens. Production can go out. You can sell it today, and production can be 2 weeks away, depending on your parts. But you can have somebody else do it, and that's the beauty of this. You have to figure out your bills unless you can ask your accountant or bookkeeper what your bills are. Just figure it out from the bank account. So, guys, schedule for profits. When you start doing this, you can start now. You have that system of knowing exactly how much money you can predict and do every day and week and in the future months.